Hey guys, Ryan here, and welcome to the Battle Blog, where we're going to be talking about arcades. So just pretty recently, my partner Josh and I went to an arcade in Los Angeles called the 82, which is kind of like a barcade where you had arcade machines, old school classic arcade machines like Turtles, X-Men, Street Fighter, Double Dragon, and then you get to have some drinks at the bar, so it was kind of like an adult Chuck E. Cheese in a way, just without the pizza. Yeah, so the number one game that we both wanted to play was the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So I put in $10 worth of quarters, I think Josh put in $5 worth of quarters, and we had our friends Miguel and Mukesh there, and they kind of put in a little their money, so we kind of had a little under $20 to beat the game, and we got as far as Krang from what I remember, and we weren't able to beat Krang. Yeah, so kind of playing it, there were some kind of thoughts in my head saying like, I can just go home and play the Xbox Live version for free, complete arcade quality, not have to spend any money, and or I can just go on my computer and play it on an emulator. But but also I thought, but that's just not the real experience that I remember as a kid. Yeah, so I remember as a kid playing the Ninja Turtles arcade at Chuck E. Cheese with three other people, not four. And we would spend our parents' money trying to beat the game, and we were always able to do it most of the time. If every kid had probably $5, and the game just gave us like maybe 2 to 3 lives per quarter, our token. Yeah, like we were all able to beat it. But then again, over 20 years later, with us as grown adults, we were not able to beat the game with $20. And that's actually a good thing. Yeah, I kind of miss the arcade. At my local mall, it used to have an arcade, but now it turned into more of a LAN center with multiple Xboxes networked together to play 16-player Halo deathmatches, or like they have computers where you can play Counter-Strike, but there's no big arcade machines with joysticks, just like the olden days where you insert a quarter, play the game, you lose in like 2 minutes, and that was your experience right there. Yeah, so what happened to the arcade? I know growing up, home consoles were already starting to become as powerful as the arcades. Like the Super Nintendo version of Street Fighter 2 was very good, but not as powerful as the original arcade version. And so I always kind of felt, playing the Super Nintendo Street Fighter 2 and the arcade Street Fighter 2 were like two different experiences. I also used to remember back in high school, my cousin and I used to play this card game called Magic the Gathering. I'm sure a lot of you might have heard about it. I don't really play anymore because it costs way too much money. And then there was like an arcade machine of Metal Slug in the background, and then like two of our friends, they spent over $17 just trying to beat the game. And then, like 10 years later, you can buy a Nintendo Wii, and just buy the same game on Virtual Console for the same price and have unlimited quarters or unlimited continues. Yeah, so what was it about arcades that really separated them from the home console experience? Yeah, like you have your home console where you're playing at home, and then there's the loud, booming loud arcade with like millions of people inside. Well, okay, not millions, maybe a couple hundred or maybe 50, 20 people inside, like you're just in this big loud atmosphere with a joystick, with some quarters and playing arcades. And then, it's a lot of fun. There was those arcades like, like arcades like Time Crisis where you have an actual gun, and then there's the racing games where you actually get inside like this little box, but it feels like it's a real car. The home consoles, can't really recreate that experience, and I think that's what made arcades special to me, because they were just an experience trying to emulate real life in a way, but just kind of as a game. But now we have, the Nintendo Wii U, and then, we have the Kinect and the PlayStation Move that tries to emulate real life experiences, but not quite like an arcade. But if there's something I really miss the most about the arcade is, playing games like X-Men and Ninja Turtles and having, complete strangers just help, insert a quarter to help you out, and if you put in enough money that all of you can beat the game. And that was like a really cool feeling as a kid. But there also were those times when you were playing Street Fighter 2 and you get all the way to the bosses and then some guy, he just inserts a quarter and tries and totally beats you, and then you're like, dude, I was on my way to fight the bosses and then you beat me and I have no more money left. I mean, what's your problem, man? I mean, this happened to me so many times. I mean, I never threw a fit about it, but that's kind of the way I felt sometimes. Well, so, is the arcade really dead? I mean, kinda yes and mostly no. I mean, because I still know there's a lot of places where you can still play arcade games. I mean, I don't think it's ever gonna go away. I think there's gonna be new games obviously coming out to the arcades, but at the same time, the home console versions will probably come out at the same time, and probably more people gravitate more towards the home consoles anyways. But there's still, back in my youth, nothing beat the experience of playing in an arcade, spending your parents' money, and even as an adult, spending now you can spend your own money trying to beat these games, just for the cool experience. Yeah, there's some people out there too that build, entire MAME cabinets, so, and with joysticks, so they can kind of recreate that arcade experience, obviously playing for free. Yeah, so, overall thoughts on arcades, I do miss how big they were back in the day. I still know they exist, and if I ever feel like it, I'll just head down to my local arcade and play some games. So that concludes this episode of the Battle Blog. My name is Ryan, and if you like this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you want to follow me on Twitter, you can follow me on Twitter at @RyanMolina, and you can check us out on Battle Geek Plus.